It is a scientific fact that light travels faster than sound. Therefore, when you meet certain people for the first time, they appear very brilliant until they speak. Now, Nelson Mandela made a very important statement when he was alive. He said that he would love to be in a world where power is defined more by, not by what things we can acquire, but by the amount of people we can inspire. Therefore, it takes maturity for us to embrace the concept of mentorship to inspire others. However, age and maturity don't always come together. Sometimes age comes alone. But mature leaders, they embrace the concept of mentorship because they are not seeking for power. They are not seeking for followers. They are seeking to empower. They are seeking really to make leaders. Therefore, the thought is that mature leaders, what they will do is that they will embrace the concept of succession because they realize that success without succession is failure. The Bible is replete with the concept of mentorship and succession. We are told that a man like Moses mentored Joshua so that he can take the children of Israel into the promised land. David mentored Solomon to ensure the building of a temple to Jehovah. Elijah mentored Elisha to make sure that there's prophetic succession in Israel and also the carrying on of spiritual leadership. I myself would have experienced mentorship when the late Harold Graves told me that every true reformer must carry his stripes on his back. I learned the lesson. Therefore, mentorship and succession is an age-long ideology. It has preserved from generation to generation cultures, ideas, systems, structures, and it is only insecure and power-hungry leaders who refuse to embrace the concept of leadership and mentorship. Dr. Miles Monroe says that if you die and all of what you have acquired in life, if when you pass off the scene, every single thing that you would have achieved, your skills, your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding, if what you would have built passes off with you, then you will be accounted a generational failure. Because it is not what happens in a leader's life when he's around, but after he passes off the scene that determines whether or not he's a success or a failure. As a matter of fact, Jesus himself said to his disciples, I must leave, and if I go, greater works than these you will do. Therefore, mentorship has to do with passing wisdom from generation to generation, both by precept and example. For example, there's a story that is told about a sage and his mentee. They were walking one day, and they came to a brook. They're about to cross the brook, and they saw a lady of the town at the brook. She wanted to cross also, but she did not want to get her feet wet. The young man, he recognized her to be a very unmanly woman in the town, but the old man offered to take her across the brook on his back. The young man did not like that, but he did not say anything. The woman consented and got on his back, and he took her across. And when he put her down on the other side of the bank, she just lifted her head and walked away without saying anything. This infuriated the young man, but he did not say anything. They walked for the next few miles into the next town, and by the time they got to the next town, he was so overcome with rage that he blurted out, I would never have taken that woman across the brook on my back. And he went on, and when he was finished, His old mentor said, "Young man, I took her across the brook on my back. You carried her the rest of the way on your heart." The wisdom was passed. Now, it is also important for mentees to understand who their mentors really are, because not everyone that says that they want to help you really have your good interest at heart. The story is told again of a sparrow, a cow, and a cat. The sparrow decided, "I'm not going to fly south for the winter." And when all of the other sparrows left and went on their way, he stuck around, but it began to get cold. Then he decided, I am going to fly and take my flight south. But when he got halfway across his flight, his wings got so cold that he fell into a barn. Now, while he was about to freeze on the cold barn floor, a cow passed around. And what did the cow do? He dung on him. Now, he was stuck in the dung, but he was warm. And after a while, being warm, the blood started coursing through his body. And he started to feel so good, he began to sing. A cat heard the singing and went to investigate. He saw the bird caught in its dung and decided to help him out of it. He dug him out of the dung and ate him. What is the moral of the story? Not everyone that dungs on you is your enemy. Not everyone that digs you out of your dung is your friend. And when you're warm and comfortable in your dung, keep your mouth shut. Solomon says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of the enemy, they are deceitful." Therefore, we must embrace the thought that mentorship and succession demands a relationship, a trust relationship. It is like a relay race. When the person in the relay race is about to take the baton, he begins to run, but he does not look back. He reaches back, trusting that the person coming up behind him will do two things: that he will place the baton firmly in his hand, and secondly, that he will let it go. The problem is that many leaders refuse to let go. They hold to power too long. I have personally been in an environment where leadership is seeking to hold leadership too long, that they're slowing down the process of carrying the work forward. It is more important to pass the baton than to win your leg, because at the end of the race, no one person wins. It is the team that will take the prize. If a person is in leadership for no other reason than personal aggrandizement, that means that the person is not qualified to be a leader and can never be an effective mentor. A mentor does not only pass on knowledge, a mentor passes on his or her spirit. The Bible says, by beholding, you become changed.